Coming up on Open for Business, the Our City Project. Today on Open for Business, we're highlighting the Our City Project with Sandy Rouiller and Sharon Pendergrass. In schools today, we recognize there are many moving parts, so having a variety of support systems are key to success. The Our City Project is one of those support systems. Hello, ladies, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So let's start with what is the Our City Project?
Well, the Our City Project is a collaborative project with Johns Hopkins University, University of Virginia, the public school system here in Anne Arundel, as well as Shepherd Pratt. And it's focused on really social emotional learning as well as equity literacy. So those are the two focus points of this project. There's a curriculum with it. I'll let Sharon talk a little bit about that.
Yes, we have developed 6 equity lessons for students, for teachers to provide in the classroom. And they focus on equity, fair behavior, having students to understand when they've been treated unfairly and how to manage and handle those things in the classroom. And we hope that it, matriculates out to the community of the school as well.
And that's exciting because schools are very, very different compared to when the teachers were students, right? And so because you two are here, what are your specific roles in the project?
Well, Sharon and I are both coaches for the project. And so what that means is that we go into the different schools that are participating in the project and we work with the individual teachers who have signed up to participate. And really that work is, we really facilitate what work the teachers want done. We also work with the PBIS and MTSS teams at the schools as well as the equity teams to provide support around the initiatives that are already happening in the school and to help with the alignment of everything going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, addressing sort of the student-teacher sort of model, how does this benefit the schools, the teachers, and the families overall?
Well, we have found that working with the teachers, coaching them, it helps them to look at themselves, what they're offering in the classroom as teachers. They're able to develop goals and look at ways to improve some of their techniques with the students in the classroom. And so all of that, again, it just goes out into the community of the school. So children are being touched. It's a ripple effect. They're being touched by their teachers, and the teachers are giving them these lessons and giving them this opportunity to expand their own growth as students in the classroom. And then just having that community improve throughout the school once we go in and start doing the coaching, the student lessons, the SEL support, second step support, all of those things are a part of the project.
And a thing is, being a former teacher myself, I look at when people come into the school, how do I feel about them coming into the school? And then you already think about how teachers deal with a degree of professional development and other asks outside of being a teacher. And so what are some misconceptions about what your program presents or offers to teachers that helps them actually go through their day instead of becomes an extra thing they need to do?
That's a really good question. And I think between Sharon and I, actually, we have 20 plus years experience of going into schools and being that outsider coming in. And that's actually more of a benefit than it is a hindrance. And the reason for that is because when we come in, we aren't there to evaluate or judge any of the teachers that we work with. That's not our role. If we were doing that, then I think we would have a much more negative impact. We are truly there to support teachers in their growth and development. So that's based on what the teacher wants to work on. And we have different structures that we use to find out what those focuses would be for each individual teacher. And so the coaching that we provide is really tailored to each person. We have coached teachers who started, been teaching for 3 months, as well as teachers who've been teaching for 30 years. So it's not even something that focuses just on brand new teachers. There's teachers who've been doing this for such a long time that sometimes they get overlooked in terms of supports, right? But as we work in a changing environment, I mean, certainly the pandemic was something we hadn't experienced before. Then as we work in these different environments, the teachers need different supports than what happened when they first started.
That's interesting. And it makes me think, are there any other misconceptions?
Yeah, I think what you said earlier about being one more thing. I think sometimes people, when teachers hear us do our recruitment um, speech or just talking with them, they think, oh my God, this is one more thing I have to do outside of everything else I have to do for the district, for the school. But I think once they start to engage in the coaching, we make sure that we're not doing one more thing. They're scheduling with the time that they have to give us to meet with them, to coach. And I think at the end of it all, they say, oh, that wasn't one more thing. It was really helpful because I was able to talk and I was able to vent. I was able to look at some more goals for my classroom management, and all of those positives do come out so it doesn't become one more thing.
And you know, you mentioned just no saying it's not adding, it's complementary.
Yes.
Schools already have a lot of programs in existence, and you kind of alluded to it a little bit. But what's a way that maybe your program connects to or collaborates with existing programs in schools or in the district that just enhances them a little bit more?
Well, one of the unique things I think about our project is that we have actually brought a lot of the different departments within central office together to help us create this project to flow with what's already existing. So we've really worked with the Office of Equity and Innovation around the development of all of our content to make sure that our message is the same message that's coming from the office, because the last thing that we want is to be butting heads with what's already going on. We also work with the MTSS team within the district to make sure that all of those things are aligned. We will make simple changes even just in the language that we use in the curriculum or in some of our content, just to make sure that it doesn't feel like something extra or something different.
Yeah, and you know, the thing about it is that I think it's important that people know the successes you've had. So what are some examples of some successes that you've had in the past? Because I know of a couple of them, but I think it would be valuable for you to speak on the ones that you consider to be successes of the program.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I had one teacher in particular, every time she saw me, she was like, oh, great, I get to talk. So it was her time to kind of just relax and talk and strategize and think about some things. So I think for me, I think that's some of the biggest successes that we've had is that the coaching and the teachers are really able to implement some of the goals that we've talked about and met with them about. They implement those things in their classroom and they can see some improvements in the way their classes are managed.
Yeah, and I think our interactions with our teachers, we come in from a very genuine perspective. We are coming in to actually support. Yeah, sometimes, when you think about coaching, some people think, oh, you're only coaching somebody because there's a deficit, because there's something wrong within their practice. But the best people are coached, right? The best athletes are coached. And, so it's not about a deficit, right? But it's a different perspective. It's being able to look at things from a different angle and get some support that's otherwise not there.
And so just to kind of close out, I think it's important because when we share such information, there is more than what we are just telling here and showing here today. So what's the best way for a teacher or a school to get in contact with you to learn more information or just to have a conversation about their interest in the project?
We have sent some emails out to some schools, for sure. They can also reach out to the Office of Equity and Innovation and to get our information so that we can get them involved into the project. We are currently working on teacher recruitment level right now, which is, this is a research project, so it's voluntary for teachers to participate. And so once they select to work with us, that's when we can get into the classrooms and into the schools to be able to provide all of that support.
All right. Well, Thank you, ladies. I appreciate the opportunity to not only talk to you, but to give more information about a project that I think is doing things that is helping us go in a direction that's necessary for the benefits of the students, but the school district as well.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching Open for Business.